Hi and welcome to this week's edition of Bitrix24 Live. My name is Andy and I am the support manager here at Gold Partners Interface. We have an office in the US, the UK and the UAE, and we offer a whole range of different services from pre-sale support to ensure that Bitrix is a good fit for your business. We can have a one-to-one demonstration online with one of our team and your team doing a screen share. We also offer licensing, implementation and installation. So if you're looking at installing the on-premise, that's certainly something we can assist with. And finally, we offer premium support. So if you're looking for telephone support, ticketing support, and live chat, then we offer all of those services through our premium support channels. So please do get in touch with us if you do have any questions with regards to those points. I'll keep referring back to this slide throughout this session. So the purposes of these live sessions on a Thursday are to essentially answer any questions that you may have with regards to Bitrix24. So if you're using it and you're a little bit confused or you need some help with regards to any of the modules, then I can show you live on screen and answer them as we go through. I do have a cloud version of Bitrix on this session and also an on-premise. So if your questions are related to either of those, then I can answer questions about either of those different kinds of systems. If you do have questions that come to you during the week, please do drop them on an email to sales@interface. And what I usually do is start each session with those particular questions just while people are coming on. The session lasts an hour. As long as we keep getting the questions, then I'll continue. Like I say, we've had some questions come through already, so I'll work my way through those. But if you do have any, just put them in the box provided and I can answer them as we go along. So let's get started with some of the questions that have come through. One of the questions that we actually get asked quite a lot is if you purchase a cloud license, where is your data stored? So your data is stored in the closest region to where you are. So if you're in the US, then it will be held in an AWS data center in the US. If you're in Europe, there are multiple locations where it could be. So it could be in the UK, it could be in Germany, and yeah, so Bitrix hosts their cloud systems on an AWS server. So one of the other questions we got through was just with regards to importing. So importing is essentially available in quite a few of the modules now, but the question was with regards to importing leads into the CRM. So before you actually import, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to ensure that the fields that you want to import into exist already. So if we go into the settings and click into form and report settings in here, you have to be an administrator to access this, so just be aware that if you click on settings and you don't see these options, then the likelihood is that you're not an administrator. But if you are, click on settings, form and report settings, custom fields, and then leads. So you should start, the first thing that you should do before you do the import is check what standard fields exist. So we can click in here, click into lead, and then if you click on add, if you've got a brand new system, every field will be showing in here. So you don't need to obviously add custom fields if they already exist. So you don't need to add fields like first name, last name, email address, telephone number, because they already exist in Bitrix leads. So just check what already exists. And then if the fields, obviously you're going to need some tailored fields towards your business, the information that you want to collect when you generate those leads. Click into the fields and then just click on add field, and you can add multiple types of different field. So that's what the first thing that you need to do before you start importing. Now, once all those are available, what I would generally recommend doing is add one lead. Okay, so that's the first thing that I would recommend doing. So if you go to the list view and click on add, I would populate one lead with all the information that you would usually collect. So you go through every field. If the custom fields aren't showing here that you've created, click on select and you'll be able to find the custom field that you have created. So you could populate every one of these fields, click on save, and what that will do is it will obviously add it to your newly created leads in this list. Then the second thing you need to do after adding one is display the fields that you want to use as a template for importing. So you're going to have maybe responsible person, lead name, status, email. Any fields that are in blue here that I can select are going to display on this particular table. So you can see all the column headers. So the third thing you need to do, click on the little gear icon, click on export leads to CSV, or click on export leads to Excel, whichever is your preference, and then click run. Now what that will do is it will export the lead that you added, and it will only export the column headers that you've got in this table. And that gives you a perfect template then to use for your import. Okay, so once you're ready to import, click import here in the gear icon, and that gear icon with the import is available in each one of the sections, so leads, deals, contacts, companies. Click on choose. In fact, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to download an example. Now I'll click on choose, click on my CSV. You can specify who the responsible person is. If you don't have a responsible person in your import spreadsheet, then you can default them to be responsible for one particular user. Click on next. Then what it will do is on the left hand side it will display all your column headers. So this is in your spreadsheet, so all these bold text here are your column headers in your CSV. And on the right hand side are all the fields that exist inside Bitrix. So generally, if you didn't do the method what I've just explained by exporting a template out of Bitrix, what you would do instead is you generally, if you import straight into it out of your own spreadsheet, the likelihood is that you'll have blank entries because the column header in your spreadsheet doesn't match the one that the field name that exists inside Bitrix. So you just have to find the relevant fields that you want to map your data to. It's as simple as that. It's not very difficult as long as the field exists that you want to map, and that's why I referred to making sure that you create your custom fields first before doing this import. Click on next. And then you have the options of the duplication control. So you can import all, so that will just disregard any duplicates that you're trying to import. And then you can click on replace existing, merge, which is going to allow you to merge the data within the leads if they already exist, or skip. And it's going to base it on full name, lead name, phone number, and email address. You might want to deselect some of these depending on what you're importing, but that is the general tools for determining whether you're importing something that already exists inside the leads module. And it's very similar when you're importing deals, when you're importing contacts, when you're importing companies. What I've just gone through there is relevant for every kind of import into Bitrix. So those are the steps. Make sure the fields exist by creating the custom fields and reviewing the standard fields that exist inside Bitrix. Creating a lead with all the content in one specific lead to provide you with a template to export. Use that template then to import all your data in with and map them to the relevant fields that you need to. And that's how you should be doing the importing. So one thing that you can't import, and it's just an extension on what this question was asked. So the original question for those of you who just joined was about how to import leads into the system. One of the things you can't do when you're importing into Bitrix is import activity. So you can't import client notes, or if you've had client meetings before, or you've had client conversations, you can't import those using this method of a spreadsheet and importing into Bitrix. It's not possible, unfortunately. So what you would need to do is you would need to probably have a look in the App Store and see if you're migrating from another CRM, for example, then you can check out some of the different options what Bitrix provides to map from another CRM into Bitrix. So if you're doing it that way of importing. So that is how you import leads into Bitrix. It's definitely one of the most common import methods, because obviously people buy leads, people collect leads, and then you can just bulk upload them all into Bitrix. So the next question is, you're wanting to use Bitrix to book your absence. Is this possible? So yeah, absolutely. I think we may have covered it on one of our previous sessions. But if you have a commercial package of Bitrix, then you can access the workflows under the More on your activity stream. Click into Workflow, and then if you don't see anything in here, click on Workflows directory, and then you'll see a green Add button here, and we can see that Leave Approval is one of these. So the Leave Approval is essentially a form that a user would fill out. So you click on Leave Approval here, and you can get access to the form that the user fills out by clicking on Actions and Customize Fields. And these are the fields that the user fills out. So you can customize these by adding your own fields, tailoring the ones that already exist. And then once that data is submitted, it will appear in this particular list for your HR team. But it will also trigger a workflow off. So we go into Workflows, and you can see here what it's asking for is, if we go, it'll start at the start point. It will select the supervisor as the approver, so that will be based off your company structure inside Bitrix. And then it will have an approval. So one of your team will need to approve that leave, yes and no. So set the status to approved, rejected, and then we check that status. So if it's rejected, we can send a notification to the employee with a reason why it was rejected. Or if it's approved, we can send a notification to the employee saying it's been approved, and then it adds it to the absence chart. So it's quite simple, really. That process exists pre-built inside Bitrix. So like I say, if you're on a commercial package, then that is how that works. If I just show you how that does work now, so if I click on Activity, Stream, More, Workflow, and Leave Approval, and I can specify the 7th to the 21st, annual leave, vacation. We can add a document, so let's just add the lead CSV that we added. And in our case, just because it's a demonstration, I can specify the approver. So I click on Send, and you can see because I specified myself as the approver, obviously this would be a member of your HR team. First of all, it appears on the activity stream, but it also appears in your workflows here on the right hand side. So you see this workflows widget. and you can see pending. I currently have 3 pending activity stream ones. So the leave approval for the 7th of May to the 21st of May. You can see here that it's come from Mac Smith. It's going to Mac Smith because I selected myself just to show you this process. But it's taken all the fields and all the data from the form that's been submitted, and I can approve or deny it. If I click on approve, then it will send a notification out. And if I click on decline, then it will obviously send another notification out. And then finally, we should, if we click on time and reports, we should be able to filter out for the specific date that gets added onto here. I think we might have played around with this workflow a little bit on our demonstration site. But as a supervisor, you'll be able to see all the people that are under you who is absent. And furthermore, if you've got an on-premise, we have actually an extension for this that allows you to specify. So if I just go into our on-premise site here, so I've got an on-premise version here. But what we also have, I do believe it is installed on here. So let me just double check. Employees. So you can see here we have an extension that is on the on-premise version, and it allows you to basically set the amount of users' leave entitlement. So you can see here we have current pending, current booked, the full year's entitlement, and how many days that they have left. And then based on that, we should be able to see that the remaining, each user can go to their profile, see how many days that they have remaining, and you can see here my approved leave. If I cancel a particular leave that I've had approved, then it will get added back on to my remaining leave entitlement. So this is available on the on-premise version. And you can set things like, if we go into our control panel here, so this is the difference between an on-premise for those of you that are currently using the cloud. But we have our absence manager, and we can set things like what are deductible leave types, so what should be taken off their entitlement. If we have a HR supervisor, we have a who's away widget that displays to the right of the activity stream. We had the request from one of our clients that we wanted to be able to create absences in the past, which is obviously useful if somebody is ill. We also can specify if we want to book half days off, so we can have 0.5 of a day off. Based on that, it would log it into the absence chart and the who's away widget between those specific times. We can set holidays. So if national holidays, for example, in the UK, tomorrow is a national holiday. So anybody booking over that period, so if they booked off today through to coming back to work on Tuesday, instead of booking off today, tomorrow and Monday for 3 days, it would obviously take into account the national holiday being tomorrow, and it would only book 2 days off. It would book today and Monday. And you can also add multiple ones of these as well. So if you've got people working in different areas, you can specify national holidays for the UK and the US, for example. And then we also have, finally, just to finish up on this, is that we can set the rate to recharge every month. So we can reset it to 20 days entitlement. On January the 1st, it will reset, or we can allow it to add. So if you've got remaining, if you've not taken all 20 days leave and you've got 5 remaining, we can add the 5 remaining onto next year. So next year you would get 25. So you do have some flexibility with this. So I've got a question. There's a couple of questions that have come through. I see that Bitrix Cloud Bitrix24 only allows a maximum of 5 personal emails. Is there a way around that? It's a good question. I'm not 100% sure on the cloud version. There is on the on-prem. But if we look into, see if we can see it here. So you can see inboxes per user. So we have none on the free, 1 on the Start Plus, 5 on the CRM Plus. So if you did want to go to 10, you'd need to upgrade to the professional license. So that's the only way. This table, for any of you that are comparing, let me just check what the on-prem is. I don't know if we've got it in here. No, I don't. I think, yeah, I'll be scrolling forever on there. So with regards to on-prem, I think that the on-prem is unlimited. So you've got 5. It sounds like you're using the CRM Plus. So unfortunately, there's no way around that. So yeah, you probably need to upgrade to the on-prem or the professional. Is Bitrix24 a website or a system which can be used by companies? So yeah, it's definitely a system that can be used by companies. Yeah, I mean that's all it's for, really. It's to manage your leads, your companies and your contacts that you deal with, and any sales in your pipeline as well as it's a task management and project management tool. Those are the 2 core areas, but you've obviously got other areas in Bitrix that are fantastic. So you can, as a question a moment ago about emails, you can host your emails internally in Bitrix, so you can access them on here. And then it's got a whole range of different tools for you to use to generate leads and track and monitor the progress of those particular sales. So yeah, absolutely, it's a system for companies that you can use. Please do keep your questions coming. I do have a few other questions that have come through prior. I'll just put our contact details up there while I just pick up a couple of other questions that have come through. If you do have questions that come through to you during the week, please send them over to sales@Intraface, or you can email me directly, andy@intraface.com, and I can add them to the start. These sessions are recorded, so if you do miss the start of this, then you can obviously just jump back onto the Bitrix24 YouTube channel and watch it back over. One of the questions, just while we're on here, we did have a question from last week's session that came through a little bit late, just with regards to training. So, like I say, we're Intraface, we're gold partners of Bitrix24. We do offer training. We offer training online, or once the lockdowns have been relaxed, we do offer training on site as well, no matter what your location is. So if you wanted somebody on-site training, just get in touch with us into your local office. So we have one in the US, the UK, and the UAE. So, got a question about tasks. So let's come into here. You may have noticed, if you've been using Bitrix, Tasks has added a couple of new features into it, which is it's really good with regards to. You can see now they've specified a change in the deadline. So rather than it having just the date there, you may now see that we can see the deadline actually says tomorrow at 7 p.m. So you don't need to just run off the date that it's saying, and you can see how long things are overdue. And this is really good especially if you have, for example, weekly meetings, or we have daily meetings with regards to projects and things like that. But it makes it a very visual aspect to see which tasks are running late, which tasks are overdue. And obviously you've got the deadline view for that as well. So you can see in here which tasks are due this week, which tasks are overdue. It does come with some great features. But yeah, I did notice this, I think it was last week, that they introduced this new feature in here. And another great feature that they've introduced, you may be aware, we've covered it a little bit on some of these sessions with regards to the knowledge base. So with a knowledge base, what you can do, it's essentially an internal knowledge base. So it's an internal website that you can use to put information that your team are going to need. So we've seen uses of this for sales scripts. So a sales script would be a good one. So maybe if I come into here and just edit this knowledge base, and we'll just call it sales scripts. And we'll just give it a name here. Sales scripts, click on save. So we've got that, and then we'll call this one project glossary. I'll show you why in a moment. But a knowledge base is an internal place where you can build up information for relative to your business. People can access this quickly, easily, search it, find the information that you need to. So an example that we use it for is in our support side, all the common questions that we get asked. Or if somebody wants a custom rule or a custom process, maybe we've built it previously, we add it into these knowledge bases so that we can quickly search, quickly find the previous one that we've done for another client, and then we can reuse it for another client. So it just means that not only is the customer getting something that we've previously built, but obviously we can access it quickly and we know the location to access it from. So we'll call this project glossary, and we'll call this glossary. And I'll show you why I'm doing this now. Because Bitrix have introduced quick and easy access to these knowledge bases throughout Bitrix now. So you might see in here that we select the knowledge base and you can see project glossary. Okay, so now once you're on the tasks view, what you can do, click on project glossary and it will bring that project glossary out. You can see it's referring to it here, and then it might be that I want to find some support so I might say professional. I don't think we populated these, but professional. Click on search. That will then bring you up the relative article. There's nothing in this case, but it's quick and easy access to content that's going to help your team. Now they've also introduced this shortcut in the CRM as well. So you can see we've got a button up here, and again it's actually already at the sales scripts. I selected it from here, and this time you click on here and you can access anything to do with sales. So people have pricing in here. That's another great one to use. Obviously if somebody calls up using Bitrix telephony, you can just minimize that. You can answer the call, minimize the telephony window, access the sales knowledge base, find me the price list, click on here, and it will pull me up a price list of everything that we currently sell. So it's quick and easy access to information that you need. Think of it as like, if those of you that use the Bitrix24 sites, it's an internal site for yourself. Got a question. It seems that Bitrix24 on-premise is the best choice for customization. What type of server would you run on Bitrix24 on-premise? Does it need a server that is compatible to a certain type of database? So it's a good question. So you don't need a physical server. If you've got a physical server, that's fine. It can run on a Windows or a Linux server. And you can have it virtual. So for example, we host all our on-premise systems for our clients, those of them that want us to host it for them, on a Google Compute instance. So if you're familiar with the cloud services from Google, they offer hosting for your Bitrix system. And you can tailor the instance based on the requirements that you're going to be using Bitrix for. So we generally look at the user count that you're wanting Bitrix on-premise for. So you can go from anything from the 12 user, so that's the on-premise CRM is 12 users, all the way to Unlimited, which is the Bitrix24 on-premise Enterprise Edition. So I think we've got clients in every one of the spectrum of the on-premise. And obviously, if you've got more users, you're going to need more resources for that particular server. So it's best to get in touch with us, and we can help you and provide you with the documentation for the minimum server requirements based on what you're going to be using it for. It is a MySQL database that it runs off, yeah, but you can access the database. That's another good thing that people use the on-premise for. We have a number of clients that connect to their database and pull reports. So as long as you know the table structure of the database, and again, we can provide you with information on that, then you can pull in, people use Microsoft BI, Business Intelligence, I think it is, tools to report on sales and things like that, if the reporting is not what they're looking for inside Bitrix. So it does give you a whole range of ways to expand on what the cloud package gives you. But I'm not saying the cloud package is perfect for many businesses. It offers so many different tools for your business. But yeah, the on-premise version is just a little bit of a step up. Just include a few more features as well. So we have like the things like e-learning and the ticketing help desk and things like that. So hopefully that's helped. But yeah, please do get in touch with us if you do need assistance, or if you want us to host it. We offer hosting services as well. Got a question about Bitrix telephony. We've got a question: can I turn off call recording? Yeah, absolutely. You can turn off call recording. I'm not 100% sure if we've got telephony connected up on here. It might be on our on-prem. Let's have a look. I do think it's on here. So just bear with me 2 seconds while this loads. It's a little bit. Okay, so we've got this number here. If we click on configure, we can configure our number. So the first thing you need to do is just access the telephone number that you've either rented from Bitrix, and you just go to recording and rating. So you can see here, save recordings of all calls. So you just deselect that. I think by default it is deselected when you actually connect your number up into Bitrix or rent a number. And yes, I think it is deselected. So the person that asked this must have selected it at some point. But yeah, you can, of course, you can deselect it. It doesn't have to record all your calls. You can actually transcribe now as well, which is really good. Yeah, it's quite a good one. So you can get all your calls transcribed. I think you do need a third-party application for that. And then, yeah, you can also play a warning. So I think you are required to tell them that their call is being recorded. So you can see here that you can select it. Once you have, just for those of you that are not aware, once every call is recorded in Bitrix, if you have that option selected, you can access those recordings in the call details. So this is an archive of all calls that the system has received. So let me just, it's gone a little bit slow on this system. If we go in, there we go. So you can see here, this is a list of all the calls that have been made, incoming and outgoing. And generally, if they've been recorded in the record column here, there will be a download or a play button. But not only that, is it will record and actually put it into, if Bitrix recognizes the number that's incoming. So let's just say 01222522554 was an incoming call. It would know that it was the contact Thomas Utterbridge. It would bring Thomas Utterbridge's call card up as a pop-up on the screen, very similar to what this looks like here. And it would have any open deals within this call card. So you can actually see a breakdown before you actually answer the call of who's calling, a little bit of information about the contact, and also a little bit of information about any open deals that are associated to them. So it gives you a little bit of a head start prior to answering the call. Obviously, if the number that's incoming doesn't exist in your CRM, then you do have the option to create a lead directly from that call as well. So you don't have to, you can switch that function off, but if the number's not recognized, you do have the option to create leads from unrecognized numbers. And then just going back to recording, the final part of this is you will find the recording on the right hand side in the contacts activity stream. So if that number is recognized, it will take a recording and put it of whatever date that call was made. So that means anybody that can have access to this particular contact can actually play that recording back. So it really does give you an open and transparent view of all the past communications and past history of that. I've got a question actually that came through about the on-premise as well. So the question was, is it possible to set a maximum session time? So I don't believe you can, you can't do that on the cloud. If you go to the on-premise, then what you can do is, if we go into the control panel and go into settings here, click into user groups, and if you go into employees, click on edit, then you have this security tab up at the top here. So you can session maximum lifetime is 30 minutes. So if somebody's idle for 30 minutes, it will assign them out. You can decrease that, you can increase that, it's completely up to you. And the on-prem always also gives you a little bit more information about about other different security aspects. Is there a way, got another question, is there a way in Bitrix24 to organize your emails with collapsible file system like in Outlook or Gmail? So I guess this just depends on what you are connecting into Bitrix, because what you can do is, if you're connecting Gmail, for example, which we have got one connected up here, is go into mailbox settings. And you can see in here we have configured folders. So if you've got a folder structure in your Gmail already, then it will pull that folder structure through. Now you can deselect them so they don't sync, but what that will entitle you to do is I don't have any folders in here, but we could actually move to a specific folder then. So if you've got folders in Gmail already, then you can move it to those folders. And once you bring in more folders and configure more folders to sync, you can actually then access these folders in here as well. So you can't create folders inside Bitrix like you can in Gmail. It's because it's pulling it from Gmail, it's taking the Gmail structure. And I guess the same is with, I know the same goes with Office 365 because we have clients that use that, and we have a lot of clients that have hundreds of folders that come into Bitrix. So it brings in the folder structure of the email client that you are using. You can't actually create that structure inside Bitrix, unfortunately. But I guess it has to work one way or another, doesn't it? So it's just pulling it from your email. Whilst we're on the terms of Gmail as well, Bitrix have reintroduced, it went away for around about 6 to 8 months. You can now sync up your Google Calendar. So you click on Connect. That will then ask you to sign in with one of your Gmail accounts, and then it will sync up your Gmail calendar with Bitrix. So, which is again a great way of doing it. You can also sync up your Outlook calendar and things like that just by going to those little arrows and doing it through there. So hopefully that answers your question about the collapsible files and folders. You just essentially use the filter at the top to be able to here. So you would just switch the folder to be able to access just one folder's emails. Can I use CRM marketing to send a campaign to specific clients rather than just everybody? Yeah, absolutely. So yes, that's. I mean, it's obviously the important part is go into your CRM. When you're doing the CRM marketing, I would always do it from the CRM first. Okay. So with regards to your contacts, we don't have too many contacts in this particular demonstration site, but use this filtering tool here. So use this filtering tool, find your contacts. So maybe I want to find all my general contacts. And obviously, if you create custom fields, again, going back to what I was mentioning about when you import leads, is that you need to have a think about what data you want to store against a particular contact, because it's so important to be able to use that data to create filtered lists, essentially. Once you create a custom field, you then have access to it. So it might be that a particular contact has attended a specific event. You've created a custom field for that. So maybe we can see here, summer conference. They've attended that summer conference event. It might be that you sold them a particular service. You can have a custom field for that. The reason why you create custom fields is to be able to drill down and find the people that you need to. So at the moment, you can see nobody has attended. So let's just go in here and let's just say summer conference, yes. And we'll do one more. Summer conference is yes. So let's just say we want to do an email blast to everybody that's attended the summer conference. Maybe they want to go next year. Okay. So we click on 3 and let's just refilter that here now. So we click on summer conference equals yes. We should have 3 contacts. So we're creating a filterable list based on the data that we've got in the CRM. Then click the top checkbox here and click select. If you pulled more than 20 records in your list, just click on for all. That will mean that all the other subsequent pages of 20 contacts will be brought into this list as well. Now what we want to do, select action and add to segment. A segment in Bitrix is a mailing list. Okay, so we want to create a new. It might be that you've got a segment that you've already created previously. You might have summer conference attendees in here already. But let's say create new, click on apply, and you can see in the top right hand corner, we have a new segment called contact segment May 7th. So that's your mailing list. Okay, it's a filtered list of everybody attending the summer conference. Okay, so now go to the CRM marketing and then go up into your segments at the top here. And you can see we have contact segment May 7th, which is the one we've just done. Let's give it a quick rename. Summer conference attendees. It's actually saying it's got 9 recipients, although that we only had 3 contacts. And the reason why is because there are multiple emails and multiple telephone numbers associated to those contacts. And we can show you that in a minute. So let's click on here and let's just click on those to show you. So it might be that Thomas, you can see, has 1, 2, 3, 4 emails associated to him. You can remove them out of here. So it might be that you don't want to email them all. Completely up to you. So now that we've got our summer conference attendees customized list, what we want to do is send them an email reminding them to bring their, I don't know, conference badge or something. So what we want to do next, create a template. Easy, really easy and really simple to create your own template. Click on Create New. You can select a predefined template already, or if you've got one existing, I'll just show you what one of ours looks like. We have this here, so you can see we have this to use. So once you've created it, it will save in your email templates here. And then all you need to do is go to Campaigns, click on Create Campaigns. We're going to create an email. We're going to use our Halloween template. And we can give it a name again. So we'll say Halloween. I know it was a summer conference, but we'll call it a Halloween conference. And then in my segments here, if we scroll down, summer conference attendees, which is a segment I've just created. And it's as easy as that. So now it says 6 recipients because we're creating an email campaign. So it's going to get sent to 6 email addresses. The reason why it last said 9 is because it would have had 3 telephone numbers. And it's quite important that it tells you how many emails and how many phone numbers, because Bitrix offers a range of different campaign tools. You can send SMS campaigns, so you'd need to make sure your list has telephone numbers. You can do voice campaigns, and again, it would need telephone numbers. So you can see here, we've got the template. We can set some priorities, set some UTM parameters for tracking, and then we can send a test. So we can see what it looks like here by clicking on Send. If I click on Save, it'll give me 3 options now. So I can send it later manually, I can send it straight away, or I can schedule it for a different time and a different date. So come out of here, you can see the ones that are sent manually, and you can see the ones that have previously been sent. I think there are some restrictions in terms of email sending. I do believe they are quite high though. So if we go to here and look at the CRM marketing, and you can see here, oh, actually you don't have the CRM marketing on the free, the Start Plus or the Project Plus, but you can see even on the CRM Plus you have 35,000 emails that you can send each month. I think for that level of, if you're using MailChimp or something like that, I think MailChimp charges quite a bit to be able to send that amount of volume. But in all honesty, I don't know how much they charge. But 35,000 seems quite a lot of emails each month. Standard, 50. If you go to the professional, 1 million. And if you go to the on-prem, it's unlimited. You actually connect your own SMTP server up. And we obviously assist with that should you need to. But yeah, and you can have a clean SMTP server to send those out. So hopefully that's quite useful for you. And yeah, it's a fantastic tool for marketing to your leads, to your contacts, whatever you want to send a campaign to. But that's the way to do it. Start off in your CRM and end up in your CRM marketing module, sorry. I've got a question. Do you think one can create an app to create in Bitrix24 that email collapsible folders? I guess, I mean, anything's possible on the on-premise. We wouldn't be able to do it on the cloud. So we probably need some scoping out, but maybe. We've got 10 minutes left. Please do, I've only got one more question, I think. So please do get any last minute questions in. If you've just joined and you asked some questions throughout the week and may have started off on those questions, we generally do on these sessions. So you might just need to pop back onto the Bitrix24 YouTube channel after this session's finished, and then we can you can review them. I'm looking for a system that can help manage an affiliate marketing site, an e-commerce site. Can Bitrix help without having to get other systems? I guess we'll probably need more details of what you're trying to achieve inside Bitrix, but if you've already got, I mean, Bitrix does have an e-commerce site functionality, but I guess if you're doing affiliate marketing, you probably need to know some more details, because affiliate marketing can span a whole range of different requirements that you need. I guess if you're wanting one system to manage and track things in terms of affiliate clicks, affiliate payments, items like that, then I guess you're going to need the on-premise version as a minimum. We do have a couple of, in fact, 2 clients that use Bitrix to track and trace their rankings and things for search optimization agencies. But we also have one client that tracks they promote, I think it's gambling affiliation, so any clicks onto that, there is tools to be able to connect Bitrix to that clicking mapping and things like that. So I guess it's possible. It's not possible just straight out of the box. You would need to have some form of customization, but it could be a one-site hub to track and monitor that kind of thing. Absolutely. Contact details up on the screen. Drop us an email, and we could probably, one of the team can have a bit more of a detailed chat about your requirements and what you want in Bitrix. We won't tell you it's possible if it's not. We can try and help you and maybe pass you to another system that might be of use to you that you may have come across. But if it is possible, we'll obviously tell you and tell you what it would cost. So the last question was just with regards to can I import projects from Basecamp? Now this is quite difficult to answer really. I'm not familiar with what Basecamp offers, but just probably the last part, I don't think we've got any other questions that have come in. So please do fire me a question on YouTube if you do have any last minute questions. But the last area with regards to importing into tasks, because Basecamp is something for projects, then I guess you're going to need to have a look at the importing tool from Bitrix. So Bitrix allows you to, if I click on download a template again, and let's import into here. So you can import tasks into projects inside Bitrix, and if I click on next, it's very similar to what we were looking at with regards to when we were importing leads. It's laid out a little bit differently. It's got the newer style and newer UI of Bitrix, but you can see from the sample that I downloaded, and I would recommend downloading that sample, is that you can import tasks with all these different types of fields into Bitrix. So you might have, and this is commonly used if you've got large projects that you don't want to manually have to create tasks each time for. And the good thing about that is you can assign based on project by project, you can assign the tasks using this import into Bitrix. You can assign the task participants, responsible people, deadlines, start and end dates, and everything for the project is then preset inside Bitrix. So this is a really handy tool. With regard to moving from Basecamp to Bitrix, I guess it would all determine on what Basecamp can get out of it. So if you can get your tasks and project information out of Basecamp, then I guess you, by CSV, then you can import using a CSV quite easily. Alternatively, let's have a look if they have any Basecamp integration. No, so they don't have any Basecamp integration as standard, because if you do come to this application store and you're thinking, oh, Bitrix doesn't do something I need, then this is quite good. Zapier for tasks. Zapier, for those of you who don't know, is sort of a middleware that allows you to connect 2 applications together, and you can essentially tell it what to do with the information from one app and where to put it into Bitrix. Now, Basecamp will have a Zap, and then you can use this integration for connecting the 2 together. So this is quite good. Got a question. I'm looking for a system for a student admission service that will allow us to save email attachments onto the lead profile and keep track and allow social integration, WhatsApp and Facebook. Yeah, so Bitrix would be a good tool for that. I mean, especially if you've connected up your email, then emails do come in and get integrated into the lead itself. So that would saving attachments. It would save the attachments within the email itself on the lead profile. So if you went into here, for example, and you would see, sorry, it went into this particular lead. You would see the email to the right hand side with the attachments on there. And then you would also be able to integrate your social networks. So you can integrate Instagram and Facebook at the moment, and you can speak directly. I think I actually have a system in here. So I've got Facebook open. I think this was from our Tuesday session. But what Bitrix allows you to do, if I was to say hello here, click on hello, and then on our system, just take a little bit. I think it takes around about 10 seconds, maybe 10-15 seconds to come through. And I think it's also because it's connected up before the same person, is that you can communicate from inside Bitrix to the individual that is on Facebook. So you can, it will pop up in a short moment. You can see here, Max Cloud. Click on the little open channel widget. You can see Facebook here. Click on reply. And then I can say, oh, it's actually James. Hi James, how are you? Click on here. Reply. Then if I go back to Facebook, you can see Max Smith, admin, that's our username in not username, our profile name in Bitrix, but you can see it replies. And then you can have a one-to-one conversation with that particular person. What you can also see is that you do have the option to create leads automatically from those particular chats. So you can see in here, because this person's already contacted us on the 5th of May, which was our live session on Tuesday, you can see in here we also have the chat that's been come through. It will add to the same chat. So you can see if I scroll up, that's the history of the chat. Scroll down, you can see in here. So you can save those integrations. You can integrate WhatsApp. So again, if you come through here, you can actually have WhatsApp on your website widgets now. So a sales agent can WhatsApp, somebody can WhatsApp you and the sales agent can pick it up. You can have a central console. We don't have it on this particular demonstration system, but you can contact the lead using WhatsApp. Your sales agents can see all the messages to one WhatsApp number and reply to them and so on and so forth. So it definitely sounds like it can do what you're after. I guess I would recommend getting in touch with us. We're coming to the end of this session now, but get in touch with us using one of those methods. Alternatively, email me directly, Andy, ANDY, at intreface.com. And I can maybe just see if it is a good fit for your organization. As I mentioned earlier, we do offer a lot of pre-sales support. So we do try and find out if Bitrix is a good fit for your business. We try and ensure that it does everything that you want it to do. If it doesn't, we will tell you. And usually, in most cases, we can find tools in Bitrix to do what you're after, maybe in a slightly different way than you're used to. But it has so many tools to offer that usually you can pick up on another area of Bitrix to work for you. But do get in touch with us. We have offices in the US, the UK, and the UAE. I'm here every Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern on the Bitrix24 YouTube channel. My name is Andy, and we're gold partners. Interface of Bitrix24, and yeah, so thank you very much for your time today. I think the next live session is going to be Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and that's going to focus on the tail end of the CRM. We've covered 3 sessions. On Tuesday will be the 3rd session, just finishing off on the CRM. But yeah, hopefully you found that useful, and hopefully I'll see you on Tuesday on the Bitrix24 YouTube channel at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Bye for now.